involved with the bike ride because my sister was diagnosed with MS.
I'd seen the ride and I'd been interested in it around the same time that a friend of mine was diagnosed with MS.
My best friend's husband was diagnosed with MS after they were married.
We started riding because our daughter was diagnosed with MS about 25 years ago.
Anybody who lives in Canada knows people or has family members who are affected by MS.
Kim's sister has had MS for 20-some years, 24 years, and she lost her battle last week.
I got involved with the MS Society a year or so after I was diagnosed.
We both got involved because I was diagnosed in 1985 and we wanted to help out wherever we could.
So I was getting ready for work and something just didn't feel right. I felt like I'd slept on my arm wrong and did some minor tests and took me in right away. The next afternoon when the neurologist came in and said, here's what I think it is. You know, I heard him kind of say, you know, I think you might have MS.
In the immune system, there are two main types of cells that are important for telling the immune system what to attack. And they're the B cells and the T cells. And those two cells, they collaborate with each other. They interact and they talk to each other and keep the immune response going. And what we're trying to do is understand those interactions and how they keep the immune response going in a chronic condition like multiple sclerosis. New information became available suggesting that these B cells that I was working on had a very important role in multiple sclerosis.
When she was diagnosed, we knew as little about MS as anybody ever knows about a disease until they're touched in some way or another.
I knew nothing about MS before my diagnosis.
We knew about it, but as you say, you know, there wasn't that many people that had it, but now everybody you speak to either know somebody or have a relative or something that has it.
You know, the awareness has come so far, and when my sister was first diagnosed, they said to her, says, you've got MS, go home, there's nothing we can do for you. Let us know if it gets worse.
In the last 25 years, there's been a huge amount of progress. Multiple sclerosis patients will have seen a tremendous amount of change in the last 25 years in the therapies that are available.
Since then, there's 6 or 8 different treatments for people with early onset MS.
Our daughter started having to get a painful injection every day.
I was on Rebif injections and then I just couldn't do the injections anymore. So I take an oral medication twice a day now and I feel much better than I ever did before.
Living with MS, I'm doing pretty good. At the end of the day, it's life goes on and you deal with it and you take better care of yourself and you have a different outlook on life.
Well, I have lost my walking, it came back. I lost my eyesight, gradually over the years, it's come back.
And it was a blow. We'd only been married 2 years. For something like this to come out of nowhere, it took some time for us to adjust.
If you ever talk to Jenny, you would never know there's anything wrong with her. The right attitude, the I'm going to be fine, and when other people hear that from someone with MS, it's a big booster for them.
You just live every day to the best that you can and go on. And to come through everything that I have come through, I guess I am fortunate.
We all know how important it is just to keep moving forward, and even though my sister's lost her battle, you can't give up. You have to keep going for everybody else.
It was about 25 years ago when our daughter-in-law's mother, she has MS, and they asked us if we'd like to volunteer for the MS bike ride.
I tried it 15 years ago and I've been doing it ever since.
Got involved back in 1992, I do believe, and it's been 20 plus years of being out there. Some of the volunteers at Checkpoint 2, Day 2, we've been out there over the 20 years. They watched our little girl grow up.
I started getting involved after Bob's first year on the bike ride. I thought I didn't want to really participate riding. I just got involved and they put me in registration, so I've been doing it for 17 years.
We have been involved for 25 years.
This was an amazing event when I started over 20 years ago, and somehow they keep improving it every year.
It's really great seeing, you know, all of your work come together, from planning the event to seeing other people who are involved and just as excited as you are to see it all come together.
Every year you can see the parking lot at Port Blake. There was no room, so we had to get more land to, you know, park the cars. That's grown so much that now we're at the Grand Bend Motorplex.
And I remember the very first year that we were thinking we were going to hit 1,000 people, and now here we are knocking on 2,000.
It's grown tremendously. It's become this phenomenal event and a real camaraderie that's happened throughout the years.
You know, it's a great way for everybody to come together and work towards a common goal.
What has changed is just the sheer number of people and the amount of donations.
I think that first year was something like 180,000 we raised, which we were totally impressed with. And now it's gone up to over $1 million a year.
Every year we have more participants come out across the province, across the country with MS bikes.
But we still see so many of the same faces every year.
Looking around and seeing, you know, over 1,000 people every year come out and support a cause, it's really, really important in this country.
From the start, Saturday morning, it's first class all the way, and to have 1,600 riders there, all with the same goal in mind, it's very enjoyable and very rewarding as somebody living with MS.
To see that many people involved in something and for them to raise that much money is very moving for me.
It's become a very personal cause and really dear to my heart for sure.
The absolute dedication from people, that hasn't changed.
It's always been a real fun ride with wonderful volunteers.
It's rewarding, it's refreshing, a lot of hard work.
It's an exhausting weekend, but exhilarating at the same time.
It's a ride, it's not a race. So finishing is all you have to do.
It's an exhausting weekend over the 2 days, but it's in the end, we're healthy.
You know, the pain of a 2-day ride is nothing compared to what they go through every day.
Through our research, I have had a lot of interactions with the Multiple Sclerosis Society, and it's through that interaction that I got interested in also participating in the MS bike ride. We really like, as a research group, to be able to come and show that we're involved as well, and tell people about what we're doing so that they can see where their efforts are going.
But it's exciting to see even one of your own team riders finish.
You know, my husband he does it in 3 hours. There's people that are out there all day long. They're in the rain, they're in the wind, they're in the sun.
I've seen kids that are like 7 years old do the whole ride, and other riders who are like in their 80s who do the whole ride, and you're like, okay, they can do it, I can do it.
I think those little ones should know how much they're appreciated.
You see so much and you see people pushing themselves beyond their limits.
We're at the start in Grand Bend at 6 a.m. and we work our tails off right until 10 a.m. and then we follow along the way and repair bikes along the road.
We were fixing any bikes that stopped, and we were just amazed at all the bike riders that were involved in the ride, and we just kind of loved it.
I just hope that, you know, me riding alongside with my jersey on that tells them why I'm riding, you know, gives them a little boost of energy to get through to the end.
Empowering each other, that's part of the job of being a tour leader, is to motivate people. Come on, you can do it, because a lot of people, they do get discouraged, especially if they're new riders.
We got there, past that finish line, tears just absolutely just fall.
Just the spirit and the excitement and the music, like they just pump everybody up, and it's pretty special.
You get to the end, Mike's there to high-five you, just cheering people.
There's a fellow whose name is Mike, and he sits there at the finish line, and he has a high five for everybody who rides by him.
You know what, guys, I didn't intend for my high five thing to become a thing, but it did, and I'm very glad it did. I'm sorry I can't be there today, guys. Normally I'm sitting at the finish line high-fiving you all, being ready to greet you and cheer you on as you cross the finish line. I'm not as well as I used to be, so I want to thank you very much for doing exactly what you're doing, which is being champions in finishing the race to end MS.
What is my favorite part of the event? The finish line. It's the most enjoyable moment, and maybe a beer or two after.
Also, our evening ceremonies is so great because that's when we learn how much money everyone's raised together.
I don't know, I don't think there's been an evening ceremonies when I haven't cried.
Where you see the achievement everybody's done together, you hear the final number, you watch the pictures of what's gone on during the day, you talk to people you haven't had a chance to talk to.
Many years, we were Canada's leading fundraisers for MS bike riding.
We've made as much as $42,000 in 1 year.
I have a various number of things that I do to fundraise. The primary one is I run a loonie draw at the East Side Bar in London. In fact, last year that bar alone raised $61,000 for the MS Society.
We do all the beer stores in Peel and raise about $30,000 to $40,000 every year manning the beer stores.
I think the big thing for people who have trouble fundraising is ask everybody.
I don't care if it's $10 or $5, it's that much money to help with a cure.
Doesn't matter how much you give of your heart.
So if everybody gave you a loonie or even a quarter, you'd make a fortune.
Every quarter might be the quarter that does it.
Well, I would like to wish the ride a happy 25th anniversary.
This is a special year that they're taking part in because it's the 25th anniversary, and I hope to see them for 25 more years.
Well, I kind of hope they don't have a 50th anniversary because, you know, we'd like to see a cure happen before that.
Hopefully the future of MS Bike will be that there isn't one, or if there is one, it's to celebrate that we have found a cure.
The fact that we're at the 25th anniversary and this ride has grown so much in these 25 years, it's just a huge credit to the London office, filled with amazing professionals there who have just created and continue to improve this ride every year.
The MS runs it so well compared to some of the other ones that we're involved with.
It's the most catered bike ride you'll ever be on, that's for sure.
It is the best run event I've ever been part of.
I can't say enough for the staff, for the MS, how they organize it.
The MS Society staff is pretty incredible, great people, a whack of great people.
Thank you seems very, very small, but it's a big thank you from the MS Society. We couldn't find a cure without the help from the community, so thank you.
A great big thank you to all of the participants because they are making a difference.
On behalf of MS Society and those living with MS, I just want to say a big thank you.
What we do in the lab requires support. The support that they're providing us allows us to do research that wouldn't be happening otherwise. So their efforts are really appreciated by us, as well as especially those who are affected by the research that we do.
Our goal is to end MS. We want to stay around until we see it ended.
I was inspired by Barry Travanek. We hope that we inspire people to do what we do, because we can only do so much, but together we can do a lot.
It's something I know for a fact that in our lifetime we're gonna get it fixed.
I just want to say thank you very much for doing what you do. It means the world to me that you're standing up for people like me, basically for me.
My favorite line is, I have MS, it doesn't have me.